Hey guys, I would like to welcome you to the letter W. Today we are going to learn about the letter W, and it's called W, but it kind of looks like two V's that have been pushed together. So let's get started. For the letter W today, we are going to need our W binder page, and you are going to need a green rectangle with the X's at the bottom and a red rectangle with the X's at the bottom. You are going to need scissors. You are going to need glue, glue or glue stick or tape if you have it, and also a black marker. Ooh, I wonder what we're making on our letter W page. For our workbook page, you will need a pencil and you will need crayons, probably either blue or gray. I am going to use the blue one. And let's get started. We are going to start with our W box and items that begin with the letter W. W makes the w sound, which is why I wanted to welcome you to the letter W. So let's see. What do you think this could be? You blow in it and it makes a really loud sound to get somebody's attention. It is a whistle. Ooh, let's see. This is a guy that lives in the sea, and he has big tusks and probably some whiskers too. He doesn't have any though. This is a walrus. This is a big, giant animal that lives in the ocean, and it is a whale. Let's see some of our other W words. This is something that people wear on their wrist so they know what time it is. It is a watch. Oh, we just looked at this kind of animal. It is a whale. We just talked about this one. It's something that you blow when you need to get someone's attention. It is a whistle. This is something that spins around and around when the wind blows. It is called a windmill. And this is something that lives in the ground, lives in dirt. They come out when it rains sometimes. It is a worm. Maybe you take them when you go fishing. Okay. So we did our letter box. There is something I wanted to mention. In your pickup bags, we tried to give everyone back their binoculars. I'm sure that everybody got theirs, but if we somehow missed somebody, I apologize. This is a old paper towel tube that we painted, so if it gets lost or something, you could easily make your own. But if one day you wanted to go on a safari around your house and look for words that begin with a special letter, that would be a really fun rainy day activity for you to do. So I did just want to tell you that really quick. Today on our letter W paper, we are going to make a fruit that my little boy loves. It is a watermelon. And here's a picture of a watermelon that I made a couple of years ago. This is what we're going to be making today. And see how the top goes straight across. But have you seen a watermelon before? They're either circles, spheres, or big. You know, they're kind of like oval shaped. So we do need to cut the corners, but not all of our corners. Because if you slice a watermelon, it's only the bottom that has the curved shape. So that is why I drew X's on your paper, so that you know which corners you need to cut. So we are going to start with our green paper. And if you want to do up the road, up the road, up the road, ouch, you can do that, but we only have 2 corners to cut. You do not want to cut all 4 of your corners, only the ones with X's. So I'm going to take my scissors and very carefully cut that corner off. I'm going to turn my paper and very carefully cut that corner off. Now I have one side that goes straight across and one side it's a little bit curved at the bottom because I cut my corners. I want to keep the curved side on the bottom, and I'm going to add some glue to my green paper. Now, I like to remind you and stress where I am putting the glue. Am I putting it on the green paper or am I putting it on my W paper? I am putting it on my green paper because I do not want my W paper to get too gluey. So I'm going to just glue that to my paper. Make sure it's kind of in the middle and that you are not covering up your hole so that you can easily add it into your binder. And I'm going to press and hold that down and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It looks pretty good, but what are we missing? The red delicious part that we eat. So let's take our red rectangle and we're going to do the same thing. We are only going to cut the corners that have an X on them. So I'm going to carefully open up my scissors and cut that corner. And I'm going to turn my paper and I'm going to cut my corner. And now I'm going to glue it to my paper. Now, should I put glue on the red piece or glue on my green piece? I'm going to put the glue on my red piece. These are pretty big pieces today, so make sure you spread it all over your paper, because if you put just a dot in the middle, it might not stick very well. You want to take it, and you can even use the tip if you're using a glue like this one to rub it around a little bit, because we are used to using those little paintbrushes in our room, but you can still move it around. Now this is the trick to making your watermelon. You want to match the tops so that it's one straight line across. So I'm going to put this in the middle so it has one straight line across. It should be all the way even at the top, and it should have green going all the way around the other 3 sides. So it looks like you took a watermelon and you sliced it up. So let's look at my watermelon that I already made. What am I missing? My black seeds. So if you have a black marker, you can add some black seeds. Do we eat the seeds on a watermelon? No. My little boy likes when I buy the seedless watermelons because then they don't have all the little black seeds to pick out. But just so that we can remember that this is a delicious piece of watermelon, we are going to add a few seeds to our paper, and then we are going to let that dry. You do not want to add a gluey paper to your binder book yet. So we're going to let that dry. And while your watermelon paper dries, we are going to talk about the letter W. Now, like I said, W looks like 2 V's that were pushed together. And uppercase W and lowercase w look the same. Lowercase is just smaller. So this should be pretty easy for you. We are going to draw this like a pattern. So if you've just done the letter V, this should be extra simple. And we're going to start at the top solid line, and we are going to go down and bounce up, and down and bounce up, and stop. Down and bounce up, down and bounce up. Put your finger in the air. Are you ready? Down and bounce up, down and bounce up. Perfect. Let's try one more time. Start at the top line. Down and bounce up, down and bounce up. Perfect. Now we are going to try lowercase w. And lowercase, remember, is the same, just smaller. So most of our lowercase letters start at the dotted line. So we're going to start at the dotted line, and we're going to go down and bounce up, and down and bounce up. Perfect. Make sure it fits between the dotted line and the bottom line. Let's try one more. Start at the dotted line, down and bounce up, down and bounce up. Perfect. So let's take a look at our workbook page this week. And we are going to be working on the same one as the letter V. 3 letters at a time fit into a packet. So this has letter S, T, and U on the front. This is a review page, and you are welcome to work on that on your own. And this is our letter W that we are going to work on. Now, I think I told you earlier in the video that I was maybe going to use blue for a blue whale. I think I've changed my mind. I might use gray. But I would stick to one of those 2 colors, either a blue whale or a gray whale. But let's start with writing the letter W. So first up, we're going to do a capital uppercase W. And we are going to start at the top line, and we are going in the red dot, and we are going to go down and bounce up and all the way down to the bottom and bounce back up. You can trace it 2 more times on your own, and then try 1 or 2 times on your own. W is a pretty big letter, so I'm not sure if you will have room or not. But let's try. Down and bounce up, down and bounce up. Perfect. One more time. Down and bounce up, down and bounce up. Easy peasy. Let's try lowercase w. Remember, we start at the dotted line. Start at the red dot, down and bounce up, down and bounce up. It is exactly the same, just a little bit smaller. So trace these 2 on your own, and then try by yourself. Down and bounce up, down and bounce up. One more. Down and bounce up, down and bounce up. Perfect. Now we can color our whale. I have changed my mind. I'm so sorry. I'm going to use gray for my whale today. And this is a pretty big whale. Take your time. This is not a race. Everybody is working at home on this project, so you can take your time. I am going to try to go a little bit faster so that our video is not too long. Now, remember, when you're done with your W workbook page, that's another W word. You can get your sticker for doing such a great job. All right, one more little section. Perfect. So I have my gray whale. You can color in his little eye if you'd like. And then at the bottom, we are going to trace. W is for whale. So capital W and a lowercase w. And this page is all done. You are doing a great job. We are going to flip our paper over, And we are going to circle the pictures that begin with W. So I see some pretty silly things happening in this picture. I'm not sure if you have your workbook page in front of you yet or not. So when you get it, take a look and see what silly things you see happening. I see a walrus, and he is riding in a wagon. Wagon. And what piece of fruit is this? We just made it on our binder page. He is eating watermelon. But guess who he is? At first I thought he might be a raccoon, but I think he's a wolf. I hope he's not the big bad wolf. So I'm going to circle my wolf and see all these things, all these white swirlies in the sky. I think it is really, really windy on this day. So I'm going to circle some of the white swirls. I see a whale on the weather vane. I see this little boy. He is looking at his watch. I see a spider trying to build her web. Those are a lot of W words in our picture today. See if there are any that I missed. And then down at the bottom, don't forget you need to trace the words or the W's at the bottom. So I have a W for web. I have a W for worm. I have a W for wagon. And I have a W for wolf. All right, my friends. That was a big project today, but you did fantastic. And I will see you again soon. Bye.